everyone, and welcome back to another EV Geek Studios review. Sebastian, Joel, and today, yes, it looks like a mini Escalade, but that is not what this is. This is the 2026 Cadillac Vistiq. So this is, I think it's called the Stellar Metallic Black exterior, and it has the jet black interior as well. So it's basically it's black on black. So Sebastian, initial thoughts about this Vistiq?
Yeah, so this is the Vistiq Luxury. So for the Vistiq, Cadillac has changed their trim level naming.
Of course they did.
And I think they've changed it for the better.
Yes.
So previously you had like Luxury 1, Luxury 2, Luxury 3, Sport 1, Sport 2, Sport 3. Now you have this. This is the base model, the Luxury. Then you have the Sport. Then you have the Premium Luxury. And then you have the Platinum. So I currently believe the only things people are getting right now in the US currently being delivered are Luxury and Sport. Okay. I don't think they started shipping the Premium Luxury and Platinum yet. And those add in, so Premium Luxury and Platinum add in things like air suspension, rear wheel steer, all that. So this doesn't have any of that. However, on the very quick drive over here, you were driving, I was riding. Yep. Felt great.
Plenty of features for
Mini Escalade.
Yeah,
Mini Escalade is really a good description of this thing.
Yes.
And it starts at, this one is
79.5, yes.
Is thicker after destination.
Yep.
And so yeah, just keep all of that in mind as you walk through it. This is a baby Escalade. Felt nice on the way over here, excited to show it off and get to it. This is a 3-row SUV.
Yes. Main competition would be probably the EX90.
I think just immediately looking at size and kind of how it's packaged, I think of EX90, I think of R1S.
Yes.
Things like that. You know, your Escalade buyer is looking at a vehicle like the Escalade. They're not probably looking at R1S. They're not looking at EX90. They're looking for things that are like.
But if you want something like an Escalade, but a little smaller, a little cheaper, perfect fit.
Yep. So let's take an exterior tour. We'll hop on the inside. Same thing as always, and we'll take it for a drive.
See you in a sec. All right, welcome back. So quick outside tour, Sebastian.
Yeah, so again, 2026 Vistiq Luxury. This is base model, so it doesn't have things like air suspension or rear wheel steer and all that, but I don't know if that's a big deal. Look at the front here, you see it has the same design language you see on the Cadillac, other Cadillac EVs, which is not a bad thing. Grille lights up, you can do a light, there's like a little lighting animation when you approach, when you walk away. We have the car on right now because we're charging some stuff inside. And so yeah, no front trunk.
Nope. It could have a little one.
It could have one. Let's look at this real quick because this is crazy. So open it up, you come in here, you do the double pull. So Escalade had a front trunk, the other Cadillacs don't. This one doesn't either, but look at how much space there is under here. You could have a little one in here, yes. I mean, and it's deep, and like it wouldn't be like, I guess it's deep this way. It wouldn't be the deepest front trunk, but you could put like an EVSE up here, things like that. Also super interesting. I guess this would be the world's easiest car to do PDR on. Yes. Because look at this, wide open all the way to the fender.
Put some protective film arm. Yep.
Like you could easily, like if someone hit it with it,
remove a dent
and all that. Yep. Anyway, super. Should have a front trunk.
It should. Just a little one.
Should have a front trunk.
It could be 18 inches wide in between these little two.
I mean, it could be the size of the EV6 front trunk. It should have one, especially looking at how much open space there is in here. But let's pop this closed. You have to slam it a little bit. You had trouble with that earlier.
I did. It didn't want to close for me.
So this being the base model, these are the base wheels, 21-inch.
Diamond,
I think they look
diamond
fine.
cut.
Ooh, diamond cut.
Yes.
I think they look fine. They're not anything amazing. They're not, but they look perfectly fine.
But this is the low-end model.
This is the base model. Yep. Power charge port door for whatever reason. GM loves them. Pop that open. You have a light around here on the outside.
And it's always upside down.
It's always upside down.
Straight from the factory, upside down.
Yeah. So you've got your status light here that communicates charge status and whatnot, and you push that.
This car only has like 20 miles on it, so it's fresh off the truck.
You've got these power folding or auto presenting door handles, all 4 doors. When you walk up with the key in the pocket, they auto open. When you walk away, it locks. The car's on right now, so it's unlocked. Open up this back seat here. You can take a quick look at the second row. As mentioned, this is the 3rd row. We'll show that off here in a second. So that seat, I believe, is pretty far forward, and the front seat is pretty far back. However, it looks like you've got decent leg room. So
you got a 3rd row screen back here. You have 2-zone climate back here because you do second and 3rd row.
So actually, you can do. It's a 5-zone system.
Yep. So
front passenger, front driver, 2nd row driver and passenger side, and the 3rd row.
Yep.
So this and the Escalade both have 5-zone climates.
You got a 110, really cool 2 USB-Cs, air vents.
You got heated seats back there. I'm assuming they're not ventilated.
Looks like it's just heated, yes.
Just heat. Okay, that's fine. I wonder if the higher trim levels get you ventilation in the back as well. Yeah, you got your air vents. Looks like you have 2 UPCs, a 110 outlet, huge, big old glass roof. This has a...
And it opens too.
It does open, yeah. And you've got air vents. You also have air vents back here on the pillar too.
That's nice.
Look at that. That's super nice. Looks like you have cup holders there in the center. I wonder if you can get those with captain's chairs.
I don't know. That would be interesting to know.
We'll look it up. We'll put it on the bottom of the screen.
Yes, because I know a lot of people, especially my wife, she likes the captain's chairs in the second row.
So let's hop out real quick. We'll keep looking at back, and then we will look at the third row.
Also does this really cool design on the windows back here still.
Yep, same as the other electric Cadillacs. If you look at the back of this thing, so it's hard to show, but so this has the same kind of split tail light design we see on the other Cadillacs, but this one also goes across.
Ooh.
Isn't that fancy? Open up the trunk like all the other ones, press on the badge. Power open, of course, and you've got your trunk. So it's not huge because it's a 3-row SUV. This is fairly standard. However, it's perfectly usable. And as we'll...
Sebastian tears his stuff up.
As I throw my stuff around, you got a pretty deep little underfloor pocket.
With an EVSE.
With an EVSE and another little bag there. Let me pick up my trash.
Looks like you got power in the corner there.
Yep, you got a 12-volt outlet here on the side. You also have switches here for your seats, so you can actually hit these and drop the third row seats.
Yep.
And from here, if I hit the same button for this, like right, you drop the second row. Now the front seat is too far forward, so it won't go all the way, but you can do it. Now you can't raise the second row from here. You can raise the third row from here. So fairly standard, fairly normal stuff. And yeah, power up, and then you to do that. There we go. But yeah, and then of course, power lift gate. So just hit the button, close. Let's look at this third row.
Yep. Do you want to keep this open? Look at the third row.
We'll see. Hold on. You actually, if you'll run around to that side and see if you can angle your body.
I'm going to be a contortionist.
So if you'll show everyone, because I'm going to hit the button on this side. Down low here, you have a button to drop the seat. So when you hit that, you can see this side, the seat actually folds forward and will slide to give you more room to access. And I don't know if you can see here, you have buttons on both sides. You might have better luck zooming in on this side maybe. But you can actually raise and lower the third row from here as well. And it's on both sides, which is super nice. So if you're like about to get in, you're like, oh crap, the seats are down. You can do it from here. So let's see if I can climb in.
Remember, Sebastian's about 6 foot tall. Nope. Don't throw a hip out.
It's a little hard. Part of it's also we're parked on an incline. But once I'm back here, uh-oh, I messed up the floorboard. Oh no.
It's already tearing stuff up.
Already tearing stuff up. Once you're back here, I should be able to just grab that. Yep. Grab it, pull it, bop it,
twist it, turn it.
So, leg room's pretty tight.
Yeah.
That said, I have plenty of headroom. I even have my own glass roof panel here, which is nice. I got cup holders, I've got air vents, I've got USB-C ports, I've got an armrest. If I just spread my legs a little bit, it's fine.
Also, you also have in the second row, you have the middle.
Yeah,
and pulls down.
What I really like too is it's easy to get out of here because on the back of the seat there's a button that I can just press and it will power release all that. And so then I can just gracefully crawl out.
We'll meet him on the other side.
I use that word loosely.
Gracefully. Third rows, and most cars are not meant for 6 foot tall people.
No.
Yes.
But also appreciate the second row. You can also tilt it. So it has tilt to it. It also slides forward and back. Like that. Pretty decent little package.
It is. All right, we're gonna head inside, do a little quick inside tour of the front that you haven't seen, and also look at the infotainment and do our driver review. Stay tuned. All right, we are now inside our 2026 Cadillac Vistiq. So Sebastian, let's do a little quick tour because it looks very similar to all the other Cadillacs that we've driven.
Yeah, so again, on the outside, we call this a baby Escalade, and a lot of this is like the Escalade. So the Escalade had the screen all the way across the dash. This one has the typical two-panel display.
We're missing the screen right here.
However, it keeps the lower screen for your climate control and such. So looking at the interior layout here, you've got your Cadillac steering wheel, this kind of chunky two-spoke design. This has Super Cruise standard. You've got this like chrome applique on it as well, which is an interesting feature. You also have just like looking around. So this is not piano black, thank the Lord. This is But it's also the screens. There's not much you can do there. You have your
Cadillac logo down there.
You have your Cadillac infotainment dial, which is nice because sometimes the screen can feel like it's a little far
so
away.
as you see, I'm sitting back and I cannot reach it.
Right.
So
this is nice and it works pretty well. You can kind of go through and click and back and all that. You also have shortcuts to your common functions here. So home, back, navigation, call, and audio. You also see, so again, you have the screen here for your climate control. We'll talk about in a second. Behind the screen, you have 2 USB-C ports and 2 wireless chargers.
yes.
Which is awesome to see, and they're out of the way to keep you off your phone while you're driving.
Our GoPro's charging back there.
Yep. You also get in here, so you've got your center console, of course. Pretty decent size.
Another USB, what I can't see with my glasses.
Looks like 1 USB-C, and
that's it.
That's it down in here. Close that up. You also have below the wireless chargers a tiny little storage cubby as well. I say tiny, it actually is pretty deep.
A little lip over here too.
Oh, would you look at that?
Yep.
And that's also, you can see, so there's some materials in here. You've got this like bronze carbon fiber in a couple places. So you've got it on the doors. You also have it here on the bottom of the center console. As well as then you look up, like you see here on the dash, you've got this kind of textured plastic. You've got, again, this kind of steel look material.
Key is no piano black.
Piano black except for on the screens, obviously. And then on the door panel.
Yep.
So if we look here at the climate screen, you can see, so again, this is a vehicle with 5-zone climate, which is awesome. So you've got your front seats, each passenger, second row, each passenger, and third row, which is awesome. You can see here, so you have your quick adjustments. You tap, you can also just slide. Look at that. You've got your fan speed as well, so you can tap up and down. Obviously, do that here. You've got your defrost and recirc. You can also hit that to sync them together. You can click here, and you get your where the air is blowing, and you can control that for each row of seats. Super cool. You can hit this, and gets you into your seat menu, so you have, again, cooled and heated, as well as heated steering wheel. You can also control that from the door. There you have it. You also have here, you have massage. And so you have a bunch of options here. So you can do roll, knead, wave, relief, and
that can
glide.
also be controlled from the door.
You can also do it from the door. You also have here your position menu, so you can adjust the seat here if you would like somehow. There you go. You have more adjustments as well, so you can do like lumbar, upper shoulder adjustments. You can adjust the bolstering. You have a cushion. You have a thigh extender.
You do.
It's power.
I don't see one on. Do I have one?
Let's see.
I do.
You do. Cool.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
I'm actually going to put mine back because I didn't need it that far out. But cool that it's all there. You have tons of adjustment here. Okay, enough of that. So come back over here. That's really all there is here. So there's not as many screens as there was on the Escalade, but this doesn't do like the power open and closing doors and all that. So that makes sense. If you come up top, this is the same GM infotainment system we've seen on all of their other EVs, except for obviously, all their Ultium EVs. Even though this is not an Ultium vehicle, it's the dead platform.
It's their new platform.
It's same platform, just they're no longer calling it Ultium. Whatever. And so you can come in here and you see it's this exact same layout. You come here to vehicle status, and you've got, so they've gotten, it seems like they've gotten rid of a fly around view, which I think is what made this screen take so long to load in the older cars. Because we just drove an Optic and it was the same way. And so you can come in here, you can tap on and see your tire pressures, you can see your energy efficiency, you can energy use, all that jazz. You can also click that and see them that way. You have, so you'll see as you go through here, you have this add to driver display that anytime you hit, it pops up here on the left. So now we have our tire pressure here.
You can also relearn the sensors too. Interesting.
Nice. I don't actually want that there.
Nope.
What I do like usually is I can do energy usage. And so you can come up here and see what you've used your energy for. This supports what GM calls power base. Power base is their vehicle to load, vehicle to home functionality. So they have where you can either pair it with their GM power up charger and have an electrician install the gateway and all that, so you can offload power straight to your panel, or they sell like an accessory that goes from the J1772 port to like a power strip and has multiple outlets on it. So you can do stuff like that with it. You can come in here as well, energy efficiency. That's what one I like to have on the display, and it pops up there on the left.
Yep.
If we go back home, you have your drive mode selector. So we are in touring mode currently. You
Sebastian
also
likes
have
sport.
snow, ice, my mode. My mode is actually usually one I like. I'll do tour vat. I'll do the softer suspension setting. Cool that this is adjustable. You have your brake feel. I like sport acceleration. Thank you. I forgot the words. And then touring motor sound, because that is no motor sound.
He's not a fan of the motor
I'm not a
sound.
fan of the motor sound. So I'll go back home. You can also toggle one pedal driving from here, and you can set level. So I have it set to high.
Because we like high one pedal drive.
You come in here, you have your My Cadillac app, so once you're a registered owner, you can set that up. You have Google Assistant, so you can talk to the car and ask it to do things for you. You can install apps in the Play Store like Spotify, Waze, Better Route Planner, etc. You have your charging menu, so like the other Ultium EVs, you can now set the charge limit down to 30%
wow,
instead of 50%.
50. Yep.
Wow, that's cool. I'm gonna set that up to.
So full charge is 305. That's what it's saying.
I'm gonna set that up to 80 because
Yep.
that's, you know, where you want to charge it. You can set up to your charging assistant. You can do this. You have on-demand preconditioning,
So if you got a
as well as on-route
Yep.
preconditioning. You can set up home level. Ooh, you can set up your charge cord limit for your level 2 chargers. However, it only lets you adjust 24 and 16 amps, which has a 48 onboard charger.
Yep.
So I'd like to see a 32 option in there, but nonetheless. Cool though, I haven't seen that in the Ultium vehicles previously, to be able to set a level 2 limit. You can usually set a level 1 limit, but nice to see it. We'll go back home. So here you have your 360 camera view. So you get your top down as well as your rear camera there. You can do a rear overhead, rear down the side, and a hitch view. And then you can do the same thing on the front, standard overhead and up the side, which is nice. We'll pop that back to standard, hit exit, hit exit. Come over here, you have ambient lighting in here. And you have tons of options for preset settings.
once again, it's hard to see ambient lighting.
It's hard to see ambient lighting of the day, but this one you actually have accent glow and halo.
Halo.
Which looks like the halo is up high. Let's see. We'll put it in demo
I
mode.
don't know where it would be.
I don't either.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, you can't see it. But you can come in here, you can set the brightness for each individual lighting zone as well, which is neat. Anyway. Oh, we need to get cars at night so we can actually see it.
I know.
You have auto park assist, you have your audio menu, so this does not, of course, have Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, but you do get
Nope.
Sirius XM, AM, FM, and Bluetooth, as well as if you install any apps to do your music.
We don't
that
talk
way.
about that. It's a very divisive topic.
It is a divisive topic. You've got Google Maps in here. So Google Maps does route planning. This is still in demo mode, so it makes me hit buttons every time you open it. You can come in here and search and say, I want to go to Austin, Texas. We are at like 30-something%, so I'm not expecting this to look amazing. Mm-hmm. 3 charging stops, 26 minutes, 40 minutes, and 29 minutes. Honestly, not terrible.
Nope.
So this is a 112 kilowatt hour battery pack, I believe, because it's the same as the Lyriq. This gets the motors from the Lyriq V.
Okay, cool.
It has 615 horsepower when you have it in the V mode.
Okay.
In V Max mode, which they don't do. It's not like a boost mode, so it's not like you can hit it and only get full power for 10 seconds. You just have to hit the button to unlock full power.
Okay.
But then once you have the mode turned on, you can get full power the whole time.
All the time. You don't have to get
It's not going to do any like 10-second boost or anything like that. You have controls, so like the other GM vehicles, you get a bunch of little options here. You have your glove box.
Ta-da.
Ta-da! You have conversation enhance. Oh, that's weird.
That lets you talk to the people in the back.
So yeah, it's doing passenger talk. Interesting.
EV9 had that.
Yep. You've got a button for your cameras. You can also hit see more controls, and this is all the same stuff we see in the other ones, where you can open up charge port door, set up your power lift gate. You can come in here, drive, you get traction control, auto hold, lane keep, and then set up your one pedal driving levels. You have your universal remotes for your garage doors and your child safety locks and all that. All that's very standard. So that is exactly how we're used to.
It does have the rear view camera.
You do get a rear view camera mirror, which is great, and you can come in here. I'm going to bump up the
That
brightness.
seems to be standard on all these Cadillac vehicles.
GM seems to do a good job with that. Go ahead and get
Even
it
you have
adjusted.
that in your Bolt, don't you?
I sure do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you don't want it, you flip that. Now it's a normal mirror. You also have big glass roof, and it opens, so you can hit this button to open the shade.
We'll go ahead and open it because we got to put a camera up there.
Shade's not very fast,
Nope.
which is fine.
Doesn't have to be fast.
But as it's opening, you can also hit this button.
Ooh.
And you can open up the sunroof.
True sunroof.
It has an actual sunroof, which is a thing we're starting to... We don't see that
No.
often on EVs.
Nope.
And you can see, wow, that lets in so much light.
Yeah.
It's got a pretty decent tint to it.
It does have a good tint to it.
Let it keep going. This again has the, I forgot how many speakers there are in here, but there's a ton. They're in the headrest, they're above us, they're all in the front of the dash and the doors, all over the place. Sounds awesome.
The sound system in this is really good.
It sounded really good on the way over here. I was super impressed. Tons of bass, like it was good. You've got your air vents here. They're kind of this hidden design with the little knob.
Like the old Atari joystick knob.
It reminds me of how you used to would have adjusted like your mirrors and stuff in the car, like an older, like an old
Buick. When it was over near the corner, you would adjust it like that.
Yeah,
old Oldsmobile or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of, I can see a little bit of ambient lighting in that, just a teeny tiny bit, or if that's a reflection of your shirt. I honestly maybe
my
that's
bright
not.
red shirt I have on.
Coming over here, if you look at the gauge cluster, I'm not going to do the big tour, but you kind of have your gauge screen. You can also switch here to energy, and it'll show you your power there, and then just your range as well as your speed on there. You can go map, and you get a full screen map view on the center console. You have your driver assist view, and you have clean. So that's very standard, normal for the Ultium or not Ultium vehicles. And you can change this so you can have this link to drive mode. I found this on the Optic, and I didn't realize you could do it this way. You can have it set to tour or sport, and now you have your kilowatt usage dead center and your speedometer on the right. So that's actually cool. I actually like that a lot. Okay. You also have the button over here for your headlights and your trip computers, which is standard and what you would expect to see. Otherwise, not a whole lot else I want to show off here. We do have Super Cruise, excited to do that later. You do have, let's see, you've got your regen paddle, and it's an actual paddle, not just a button, so you can go in and kind of feather it, as well as do just typical one pedal driver stuff. And yeah, I mean, this is a nice, decent little place to be, especially this is the base
This would be a nice road tripper. I could see how it would compete with, like you said, the EX90.
Yeah, I mean, for me, EX90 seems to be really the big competitor.
R1S too, probably.
R1S, yeah. Yep. And I could see how this would work in that market.
Yep.
Are we ready to get camera set up and take it for a drive?
We're going to take it for a drive. We'll see you in a sec. All right, pulling out of our parking lot very slowly. As we've stated before, developers really need to work on designing parking lot entrances.
Yeah, this is terrible.
Yes, it's sloped and it's narrow.
It's sloped and narrow, and it has like 3 different transition points.
And it's blind spot turning.
Yeah, this is awesome.
Yep.
Anyway, but
initial thoughts, get behind the wheel.
Initial thoughts, seating position is great.
Yep.
Seats are comfortable. They're cool. They feel nice. That could be getting a massage right now, but I'm not. I think I'm going to
get a massage, but you keep going.
Anyway. And just coming out here, so I've got one pedal driving set to high. See how that feels. Yeah, so I think GM has worked on that some.
Yep.
This feels
because the Escalade
a lot less aggressive than like the Escalade.
Oh, the Hummers was really aggressive.
Of course, those also have the giant batteries, can do a lot more regen, like total. But I remember like even in the Equinox we drove, I remember it was a little lurchy, or like the Lyric, which is the same powertrain as this. I remember it being lurchy. So they've definitely made some improvements. I made the same comment on the Optic. Coming out, so we're just kind of at a stoplight right now, just looking around. This is a nice looking interior.
It is.
You know, there's not a lot of this is soft touch material. This is kind of a metallic-y look. It's not piano black, thank God. Same thing here. Nothing feels cheap or anything. Which
you got some leather on the side too as well.
You've got, it seems like a pretty decent put together place. I have one complaint, and I have this on basically all of the GM vehicles for some reason. The screen and the steering wheel interfere, and I can't figure out a way to get the steering wheel in a position that lets you actually see the screen.
Because I'm assuming your energy efficiency and your Google Maps may be a little bit cut off.
Yeah, so they're just cut off there. I can see most of the data that's important, but it's just a little off.
Yep.
So we're going to come out here. I'm actually going to hit this button because I haven't done it yet.
He's got the V
button. I hit the V button so that we can have our full 615 horsepower. And we're just going to come out here and we're going to get ready to merge on the highway. There's cars in front of us, so I can't do anything too crazy, but I can give it a little... Oh, buddy.
There we go.
Oh, buddy.
Okay.
I heard all our stuff in the back go flying around.
Horsepower, so yeah.
And I mean, that was just like a 10 mile an hour change in speed. That was good. All right, let's do that one more time.
That gets you going on the interstate there.
All right.
No problems merging.
This is a 3-row SUV, Joel.
I know.
What the heck? All right, now let's drive like we're normal people again. And you can see it is indicating Super Cruise is available. And we will hit the button. I will hit the button. Hello? Oh, wait. I know this. We have to, the activation for Super Cruise is different in every vehicle.
Yeah, you gotta sometimes rub your head, touch your toes.
So I've got cruise control now set. I should be able to hit this button No.
You had it set for a minute there.
Distraction. I don't know why I can't get it to activate Super Cruise. So cruise control is set. It says it's doing lane keep. It is definitely not centering.
Nope.
Huh. Well, make sure come in here, controls, see more, drive. Lane assistance is on. We've got an Equinox in front of us. Looks like a base model. Nice.
We do. It's that blue color.
Hands-free driving unavailable in exit lane. I'm not in the exit lane.
Wonder if this thing maybe need a software update since it just came in.
Hands-free driving unavailable in exit. Okay.
We're in the middle lane of an interstate, by the way.
So typically Super Cruise works really well.
Yes, all the other Cadillac we've tried it work very well.
I don't know what the deal is on this one. And it's just turning on or off. That is so weird.
Maybe we can do some research and put that in the video for you. If we find
Maybe.
it.
So, other than that though, out here on the interstate, if we just ignore the fact that I can't activate Super Cruise, we're comfortable, we're smooth. It's pretty dang quiet in here.
Let's look at our system. Hey, look at there. Hello, Blue Equinox. How are you doing? Guys probably wouldn't know why I'm looking at it.
Driven by like the oldest man in the world.
Yes. I love it. I love it. It's not just for the younger generation.
Anyway, so yeah, out here on the highway, it's pretty dang quiet in here. So the EX90 I think was a little quieter.
It was, but it was a little smaller.
The EX90 was also $10,000 more expensive.
Yes, it was.
And
I don't think it was as big.
I think it was pretty close to this. I'll do some research and put numbers up on the screen. But yeah, so auto lane change. We're super cruising.
There we go. Just didn't like that area back there.
Yeah, I didn't even hit the button.
I wonder if it takes time to map the data. I don't know.
Take control. Never mind, we're not super cruising.
Now it just turned off. So
hands-free driving unavailable, no road information. All right, well, we super cruised for 5 seconds.
Yes, we did.
But yeah, so it's a little noisier in here. I would be very curious to ride in the one that has the air suspension and the rear wheel steer, because the suspension is fine. But I feel like there's a little more road surface coming through than even say, like, I know it's a smaller vehicle, like I think that optic was smoother.
Yes.
Now it's a different kind of vehicle, but still, you know, it's just for comparison, right? The EX90 was on air suspension, and so it rode smoother than this, but that makes sense.
Yep.
The Escalade rode better than this, and it was on air suspension. So I would be very curious to see once they start shipping the ones of these that have the air suspension
and try it out, yeah.
And see just how it compares.
Ooh, that one pedal does.
There we go. Now the one pedal's a little stronger. I will say I still think they have definitely improved this over some of their earlier Ultium quote-unquote vehicles. See here. I said I did not slow down as fast as I was expecting to slow down.
There you go.
Interesting. Anyway, a little herky-jerky there. Sorry, Joel.
It's fine. I'm used to it.
But yeah, I mean, this drives fine. It drives like the other Ultium vehicles. It's not necessarily anything stellar or cutting edge as far as like driving dynamics go, but as far as like a 3-row SUV goes, this is perfectly fine.
Another 3-row SUV on the market,
yeah,
which is what we didn't have a lot of a year ago.
Right, and I mean, it's a mini Escalade is a really good way to put it. Thank you, Joel.
I mean, if you look at it, it looks like an Escalade.
It has the look, it has the feel. Again, the higher trim levels I think will really kind of nail that point in as you start adding in the nicer feet, like the not super luxury, but the more luxury features like air suspension, rear wheel steering, slightly nicer seating materials, you know, maybe more like ventilation in the second row, stuff like that, you know. Now those are more expensive, of course.
Yeah, we'll probably see those. I wonder, do you know what the top trim tops out at? Probably over 100,000, I'm sure.
I would expect it to be pretty dang close.
99, 98, something like that, yeah.
But yeah, this is fine.
Yep.
This is not bad at all. And I mean, like you said, it's another 3-row entrant.
Yep. All right. Any final thoughts before we head back, Sebastian?
So, man, the real thing on this is it just has so much power.
I know.
For it to be a 3-row SUV. And really, if you think about the other ones on the market, so you have EX90,
yep,
R1S, EV9, and now Ioniq 9.
Yep.
I haven't been in an Ioniq 9, can't talk about that one. EV9 was not this nice.
Nope.
Similar price once you get into the high trim levels.
Yep.
Crazy.
Yep.
R1S we've not driven yet. That said, the Rivian is super nice, like as far as material quality, feeling, and everything like that. That said, I think R1S is probably maybe even like a little smaller than this.
Yeah, you don't get that much third row seating
Yeah.
in the R1S. R1S is a very tight third row.
And then EX90. EX90 is the one I keep coming back to.
Yep.
Because it was so good.
Yep.
So yeah, this is though for someone who, this has, I think peak charge rate on this is like 190 kilowatts. And so it has this.
Remember the peak on the EX90?
It's like right around 200. They're
So,
pretty
yeah,
close.
So about their car. Yeah.
They're pretty close. This has 300-ish miles of range. I want to say the EX90 had 300. This is cheaper.
Yep.
So I guess ultimately you have to decide is if I would put this on a pretty similar level to EX90, except the EX90, you know, like especially if you start looking base to base, these are pretty similar. I think this one's cheaper.
Yep.
And I think, I'll put it in the notes if I'm wrong, I think this base model, because it's under 80 grand, qualifies for the $7,500 federal tax credit.
It's barely under 80 grand.
Right, it's barely under 80 grand, but that would put it at like 73.
Yep. That's
This is a lot of car for 73.
73,000. Yep.
So yeah.
All right, we're gonna head back to Parker Cadillac and do our final thoughts. So we will see you in a bit. All right, we are back here at Parker Cadillac. Once again, shout out to Mark and his team over here for letting us borrow this vehicle for a few hours. Final thoughts, Sebastian, on the Cadillac Vistiq.
Yeah, so just first off, hey, I'm getting a massage right now and it's awesome.
Yes, we're just gonna chill here for a little bit.
Just for a little bit. I'm also gonna turn my cooled seat back on. I don't know why it turned off. So, comfortable seating position. Feels really well put together. It's a Cadillac. I would expect that. Tons of power. Plenty of power, yeah. And this, I wouldn't be surprised if Cadillac decided to do a Vistiq V at some point, just because they can. You know, they do an Escalade V. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a Vistiq V. And so this has the same motors as the Lyriq V, 615 horsepower. I can't remember how many pound-feet of torque. I'm so sorry.
Yep.
And so I'm just imagining this with like 700 horsepower.
Yes.
Something like that. Crazy. I don't know the statistics on it. I don't know what the 0-60 times are, but it feels good.
Yep.
A little glitchy. However, this is, again, brand new car.
Yep.
First one they've gotten.
Probably just been off the truck here for about a week or two. So
yeah, brand new car, brand new model. I would expect there to probably be updates pretty quickly to fix some of the stuff. Like the Super Cruise glitch, how it was on, but it wouldn't come on, and then came on for like 5 seconds.
But then on the way back, it was fine.
And then on the way, it came back and was fine. Yeah, so I don't know what was, it was after we stopped recording.
Yep. It would even did an auto, it even did a lane change for it to let you know I'm moving over so you can get off the exit.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, I mean, again, that's stuff I would expect GM to fix. GM has been doing pretty dang good at over-the-air updates recently. You know, they've released kind of one onto all of their fleet here recently, and then it was like that opened up the floodgates. So they've released like 3 or 4 since then in the last month.
I think the last car we were in that already had 3 or 4 updates in it, on the optic, and it was the optics was the one that hasn't been here long. Yeah,
and so I'm just curious. We're gonna let that run for a second. I'm just curious. So
updates,
it was a little glitchy, and you know, I would love to maybe drive one of these, like you said. Once they start shipping ones with air suspension, that'll give them some time to bake in some of the software stuff too, and see if that makes it any better. That said, nice place to be. I love the implementation of the second screen. You know, I'm not usually a climate controls on the screen kind of person, but it's pretty easy, pretty straightforward, and I like that you can do stuff like you can just swipe the temperature and stuff. You don't have to actually hunt and peck for the buttons.
Considering the screen is at a far, the main screen is at a far distance.
Right. So and I actually do find myself reaching for the Cadillac dial here to control the screen, which is interesting because I'm not usually that kind of person.
Yep.
So, starting price, this is 79 grand.
Yep.
And this has, I don't even think this has, I think it has one option, and it might be the color. To do this metallic black on here. 79 grand. Do you think it's a good price for what you're getting?
I mean, if you're comparing it what's out there to other EVs, I think it's good. I mean, yes, it is a step up from like the EV9. It is more luxurious than the EV9. Those cars are in the 50s and 60s. But like you said, it does compete with the EX90, and I can see it's a very good competitor for the EX90.
Yeah.
If I had to choose between the two, I don't know, I probably would choose this, just because it just feels a little bit more luxurious than the EX90 did.
Okay.
I feel like you get...
Yeah, the EX90 was a little more of that simple Scandinavian
feel.
And
that's just their approach. Some people like it, some people don't, but that's just their approach. But for what, $10,000-$15,000 less you make possibly have this car, I would probably choose this over the EX90.
Yeah, I can see where see where you're coming from on that. I think I liked the EX90 a little more. However, I think I would also probably end up picking this because if I could get like a base model, and if it qualified for federal tax credit still, you're looking at 73 grand. And like you said, this is nicer than EV9, and at 73 grand, you're looking at the same price as the top of line EX or EV9.
Yep.
And this is nicer than that.
Yeah, I much prefer the GM software
is
to
way
the
better.
EV9,
The
yes.
seating material, like the quality of the materials is way better.
Yep.
Stuff like that. You're in R1S money, but I kind of almost put R1S in a different class of vehicle.
Yep.
R1S kind of is like an adventure vehicle, kind of whatever. It's more of a lifestyle thing.
And it's smaller than this.
And it's smaller than this. It has a less usable third row, things like that. But yeah, I mean, this has the same good tech that we see in the other GM and the EVs. I love digital mirror. I love having this big glass roof, and it opens.
Yes.
You don't ever see that on these EVs anymore. They've like all abandoned the opening sunroof, and this has full glass roof with a shade, and it opens. It's like it has all of that. This is a really good package, especially for this to be the base model.
It is.
You know, like the higher end models having the air suspension and rear wheel steer and all that, like I'm sure those are even better, like would be an even better experience to drive. However, this is fine. If this is in your price range and you just need a 3-row SUV, EV, you don't need other bells and whistles, you don't need air suspension, all of this would be perfect for you. Yeah. And I mean, and it still has plenty of bells and whistles. You got heated and cooled seats, you got massaging seats, you got
heated second row, you have climate control.
You got 5-zone climate control. I mean, come on now. Yep. It's a baby Escalade. Yep. It's a mini Escalade.
It's a baby Escalade, mini Escalade. All right, thank you all for joining us today on another EV Geek Studio review. Another shout out to Parker Cadillac here for letting us review all the Cadillacs that we have on our channel. And we will see you again on another episode. So long, everyone.